right. Also, after suffering a shoulder injury just 2 weeks ago, you guys, Colorado two-way star Travis Hunter returned to play in the first half last week in Colorado's win over Arizona. Hunter, however, was limited in that first half, playing 41 snaps on offense and 13 on defense. And with the Buffaloes up 28-7 at the half, he was rested in the second half. Deion Sanders told the media earlier this week that Travis is, quote, better than last week, so we could see an increased role for Travis Hunter today when the Buffaloes take on Cincinnati. But just how much should we see? You know, we were talking about this last week when it was questionable if he was going to play, how much he was going to play. And we also asked if he was going to be limited with his snaps. You thought, Danny, that he should play more on the defensive side of the ball. You were adamant about him playing on the offensive side of the ball. He played just 13 defensive snaps last week. Were you surprised by that, Danny?
No, because of what we've seen, what we talked about. I feel like this is going to be a conversation. We had it when he was healthy. Like, is it okay to be playing 114 snaps a game? And it was like, this is a really interesting dynamic because it's a physical sport, right? You get banged up on the reg. So now you go and you've got this issue with the shoulder. Do they try to, limit him? I thought last week was perfect because they did have the 28-7 lead. They were able to get him out of the game, which I think is something you'll see for the rest of the season moving forward. I think trying to get him snaps for the Heisman Trophy or that, I think that's done. I think, yeah, if he has some Heisman-type plays, he's already got the brand recognition, so I think it is about this season for Colorado. I think in this game specifically, Cincinnati's got a really good passing attack. Brendan Sorsby, their quarterback, has been throwing it all over the place. I think you'll see those numbers come up on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, my question to you was, do you think with them, because we're having the conversation about ultimately they're going to have to limit his snap count at some point because he can't do this for too long because we see the result of it. With him playing receiver last week, and now I'm assuming you assume he might play more DB this week against Cincinnati. Do you think it's more of a game plan situation? Like, what are we going up against? How's the opposing team's offense versus their defense? Or do you see this as Travis Hunter, Deion, they think he's just a better receiver than he is corner, and this could be a little indication of what we can see to come and maybe at the next level? You know what I think happens today? I think they need him, and I think he plays a lot of snaps on both sides. I do. Easy
because they're trying. They can win the Big 12. Like, and I think that's, and like them saying he's 100% is me saying Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter have had conversations, and I guarantee you, this is what I love about him. He's begging to play every snap on both sides of the ball. And I think this is going to be a closer game that they're going to need him. Again, though, if they're up again 28-7, that's when you take him out of the game, which before they might leave him in to pad his receiving stats, get him a touchdown here. I think all that's off the table. They want to win, and whatever it takes. I think you could see him play 100-plus snaps if it's a tight game, or you could see it dialed back if they have a comfortable lead.
See, I personally still think he can play both sides of the ball, and you can still limit his snap count. It's just going to be how the game flow goes, and I think Deion and this football team will do a good job of that. And let's not forget, when we look at Colorado, especially on the defensive side, they're one of the more improved teams in the country defensively, especially how they started off the year. So they can afford to kind of figure out when and where that they are going to need Travis to go out there and play.
And let's not forget, he's Shedur's favorite target. I mean, we're talking about Shedur as one of the premier quarterbacks in college football. Like, it's time that we give him that type of recognition. Well, Travis Hunter is that's his guy. That's his #1 guy whenever he drops back. That's who he's looking for. So I think that, kind of like I said last week, I think he is a much more valuable asset on offense. To Beanie's point, their defense is much improved, so they don't need him as much. But I'm just thinking in terms of Shedur. I mean, obviously that's Deion's son. That's his guy. Give him his best weapons, and that is Travis Hunter on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, definitely his favorite target. He's still Colorado's leading receiver with 51 catches for 604 yards and 6 touchdowns.